What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, taking a look at my updated deck profile for Raidraptors. What a fun deck. Still always going to be one of my favorites. I always like to rejoin it and made some huge changes this time around, and I think it's way worth it. So I'm going to go over the deck profile, and I do have like 4 test hands I'm going to go over to showcase just how ridiculous this deck is. It's truly insane, the kind of combos that it puts up. So we'll start here with my crossout targets. This is a combo deck. If your combos go through, 99% of the time, like, you win. So Dark Ruler No More. I love playing this in the main deck. It's like not bad. Like if you're going second, you just happen to open it. That's great. But also just being protected from Dark Ruler No More is huge. Like this card can be really versatile. So I've just always done that, and I think it's like if you play this card, like you kind of have to play this. I kind of feel like. Infinite Impermanence, Nibiru, Ash Blossom, DD Crow, Effect Veiler, Ghost Spell, and Haunted Mansion. Just kind of the standard stuff. I feel like this kind of covers it all. Okay, so the Phantom Knights of Silent Boost. This card I always go back and forth on. It's so bricky. It just sucks to see in your hand so badly. Because you can't. The only thing it can really be used for to get off the board is the Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardige, and you're just never really in a position. So this is like kind of a garnet. It's sort of because this counts as a Phantom Knights monster, which is kind of cool. So like that can work together in that sense, but yeah, but you just kind of have to have it. At the end of your combos, you send this to the graveyard. You get to search like Fog Blade and the quick play spell, or Shade Brigandine and the quick play spell, and you'll see that in the combo videos. So it's just kind of one of those things where if you draw it, it sucks really bad, but it's just too good, I think, to exclude. I do have 3 copies of Parallel Exceed. This card is insane. In this deck specifically, this card is just crazy. It is like 2 bodies in one, bring something out from the deck, and once you get the ball rolling in this deck, it's totally over. Time Thief Winder. So I run this at 2 because I do run 3 Regulator. Regulator is a 1-card combo, essentially. A 1 card leads to like 7 interruptions. And you don't want to like have this card in your hand and Winder, because then it has to special summon from the deck. So you wouldn't be able to grab anything at all. This card is good as an extender in the hand. Now, I only play 1 ship. So if you do open ship, that's very unfortunate. That kind of sucks, because you definitely like want it in the graveyard. Like it's not really, doesn't really do anything in the hand. You probably never normal summon this in most circumstances. Although I guess if you have like quick launch, there is a few scenarios, so it's not impossible. But the reason I run this at 2, because there's less of a chance, right, of opening this and like one of the other ones versus this, where it's kind of good. I kind of want to see it. It's not the greatest play starter because it has to attach material, so you already have to have like multiple bodies on the board before this becomes an extender. But you'll see in some of these combos, it is a good extender. Like it's a free body. It searches a like Dark Ruler No More out, which is really good. So this ratio I think is pretty good. 3 Simorgh Bird of Perfection. It's funny. Bird of Perfection. So this is just a great extender. Every time you special summon anything, it just brings itself out, which I think is really good. It's also searchable off of 4 Strix. The Rocket lineup here: Rocket Caliber, Rocket Tracer, Rocket Recharger. By the way, if this is the first time you're stumbling across this deck, you're probably wondering like, what even is this? It's a dark rank 4 toolbox, basically. It is a Raidraptor deck for sure, even though I only run these 3 cards: Strangle Lanius, Mimicry, and Singing, and well, Raider's Wing too. Even though the main deck is small, the extra deck is like full of Raidraptor monsters. So this really is a Raidraptor deck, but it's just the Raidraptor cards aren't so good. So you kind of have to supplement it. And luckily, like the rank 4 Dark Pool is insane. So crazy. Like the Rockets obviously come for quick launch. Tracer brings out another level 4. Instead of thinking about it in synchro terms or like link summoning terms, which it usually is, it does a lot, right? It's quick launch going into Tracer is equal to 2 bodies without normal summoning. So obviously it's very good in a rank 4 deck. Something you wouldn't really think of, but it's so good. Boot Sector launch, so search it out, right? You quick launch, bring out a rocket monster, go into Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon adds the field spell. You destroy itself to bring this back to the hand, then you can bring it out. It's just kind of like it's a weird loop, but it is just to get all of those 4s without normal summoning, which is always the key for these kinds of combo decks. Because it sucks to play a combo deck where you normal summon, affect your opponent imperm use, and you pass. This deck is just really super not like that. The rank up magic spells, so Soul Shape Force goes into Infinity, or it goes into Wallow, which is really, really cool. I think this card's new, and it's finally like a decent rank 6 Dark. There's like one Vampire one, but it Book of Moon's extra deck monsters, right? It's just too slow. Versus this, which like the graveyard is just such a huge part of Yu-Gi-Oh now. You would imagine this would be a good interruption. So that's where that comes from. Rank up Magic Force, so this is searchable by Wystrix, but also Rusty Bardige, which is so amazing. Such a good synergy. These cards really just went under the radar. I talked about Quick Launch, talked about Crossout Designator, Called by the Grave, pretty obvious. Shade Brigadine, which is good to set from the deck, which means you can go into a really like powerful Time Thief Redoer with like ultra mega consistency, like any 4 equals like a good Redoer, which is pretty unique, I feel like. And Fogblade, I go back and forth on this one, and obviously if you're going second, you're going to side this out for another going second card. But it's, I don't know. I think I might take this out and just put another consistency card. I'll have to do some more playtesting, but that's obviously like a pretty small difference. But it's always good if you open up like one of these, like the Rank Up Magic Force. That means you get to search out the other 2, and they're all just like so good, and they do so much for your deck. And this card actually has a lot of versatility, right? Can attack, with Fogblade. And then, Time Thief Retrograde is the searchable card off of Winder. So Time Thief Regulator not only has 7+ interruptions, but it's also an anti-Dark Ruler combo. This card's crazy. It's so crazy. We'll go on to the extra deck. Borreload Savage Dragon. You'll see this isn't something you're going to make often. Like most of the time with Tracer, you're going to need it for those level 4 plays or the rank 4 plays. But every once in a while, you have so much gas that you literally don't know what to do with. So you are easily able to put up Borreload Savage Dragon, which is great because a lot of the times you're going to get Dark locked, and this is a Dark monster. You don't ever get XYZ locked. Somehow, all of these cards don't lock you into XYZ, so it's just too perfect. Zeus is just something. Zeus is really good because Time Thief Redoer is going to start with 4 materials like going into your turn. Right, it's going to have the 2 overlay materials. It's going to grab the top card of your opponent's deck, and then during your turn, it grabs another. So you can easily get a 3-pop Zeus in like going into turn, like your second turn, which is really, really good, obviously. So I run Satellite Cannon Falcon. Now this is a little bit wonky, and this is where the extra deck gets a little like eh. So the idea here is like you can only rank up once each, right? You're not going to add these back to your hands. I'm sure there's ways, but it's probably not worth it at all. So, like, 2 of these cards are going to be a waste, right? Because you got Wallow and you got Infinity, and then you got Satellite Cannon, and you got, like, Dark Requiem. So, it kind of sucks that there's going to be cards that just kind of sit there, but this card destroys all spells and traps, and if you can do that during your opponent's turn, that's obviously so good. Like, if you know you're playing a trap-heavy deck, you can just, like, kind of stop your combo short, sort of, you know what I mean? Kind of like don't go all the way, keep one of your Raidraptor bodies on the board. That way, because unfortunately this card isn't when XYZ summon. You have to it only has this effect to destroy all spells and traps when it has a Raidraptor monster as material. So you kind of would have to leave out a Forstrix. But again, your opponent can't respond to that effect, which is crazy. So I think that you kind of just have to play this card. I haven't played it in a long time, and obviously you can take it out. It's not the most important thing in the world, but it does have so much versatility. This card's, I love rank up cards. I think they're so fun. I think that's what makes them so fun is you have so many options to go into so many powerful cards. 2 Forstrix, you absolutely have to have 2. I used to run another rank up magic spell, but obviously you just want to run the least amount of bricks possible. So this is a rank up magic spell. It also counts as a Raidraptor card. So if you have Forstrix and you activate this card effect of Raider's Knight, it actually triggers, which is so cool. But, this helps you go into Arc Rebellion, just a total game bender that your opponent's never going to play around. Not something you're going to think about, or if they even know what the card is in the first place. So I've really enjoyed this combo. It helped me win some duels recently. Completely destroy my opponent after, breaking a board. Dark Rebellion XYZ, goes into Dark Requiem, which is a custom card. Non-once per turn quick effect, negate monster effect, destroy. Non-once per chain. I don't know if I said that, but yeah. So crazy. And then it also just brings something back. So if you placed your zones correctly, a lot of the times you can negate something and just pop it with Forstrix, right? Because it's going to special summon Forstrix, which is going to trigger Rusty Bardige. Thought that was kind of cool. Wallow, I talked about this. Infinity, I've talked about, just that target for Soul Shave Force. Having access to an Omni Negate, that's also just so powerful. Being able to take your opponent's attack position monsters, of course, is just so good for removal. Time Thief Raidraptor is crazy in this deck. Just having that Shade Brigandine searchable. Getting all those materials. Rusty Bardige, Weistrix, and then Striker Dragon. So obviously a very tight extra deck, but it ends up working out. So what I'm going to do now is go over to these replays here, and let's get started. So this is kind of like you would think a bad hand, so good. So you're going to see what Tracer does. So Striker Dragon, and obviously you're going to brick from time to time. I think that's kind of the nature, but I'm going to show off 4 combos. I think I did 6 hands, and that's all it took. Like, you don't brick that often because Quick Launch is essentially a 1-card combo. Time Thief Regulator is a 1-card combo. And so many other things. Parallel Exceed is also pretty much a 1-card play starter. So as long as you draw into one of those, it doesn't really matter what other weird cards you draw into your hand in terms of like rank up magic spells and such. And I just get to keep searching and searching. It just never stops. And in this one, I had Winder in my hand, and it was a great extender because now it's Dark Ruler proof, which is always what you want to do. And then I have Wallow. So I Dark Locked myself, but it doesn't matter. Like, there's so many powerful dark monsters. Like, the only one that really is kind of a bummer is Infinity. But now that this card exists, it's just your end boards get even better. So what is this? This is a pop, right? Because Magic Force is going to go into Requiem, which is, going to pop there. Cross-Site Designator, it helps me protect me from Dark Ruler or more, which is great. I already have another thing, a Counter Trap, that is Dark Ruler proof, and then Infinite Impermanence. So how many interruptions is that? That's 1, 2, this is going to turn into 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not too bad, obviously. All right, let's take a look at this one. So that was an awkward hand. Let's see what a quote-unquote normal hand, or Time Thief Regulator. So this is going to bring out Basil, Winder. Winder's going to search the the counter trap, so I have that spell and trap negate already. And then I can search some more. Basil gets the detached material to bring itself back. Singing Lanius is what I searched. Or I think I had that in my hand, and then I searched some more, which was already triggered. And yes, I did have Mimicry in my hand, which kind of stinks because it's kind of just stuck there. But no big deal. There's other extenders that you can send. So the Raidraptor little package is perfect. It just, so much perfect synergy and just free extenders. I think in this case, I actually don't have I have too many bodies for anything to do something with. Boots can search me the other half, and then here I am. So again, Time Thief Raidraptor, Infinity this time, which is great. Dark Rebellion XYZ, so that's going to turn into Requiem, which is 3 monster negates, which pops with Rusty. Fogblade is a monster negate, that's a spell and trap negate, and then Cross Out, which was kind of cool to draw. Let's see what else. Sometimes you draw crazy. Those, what I would say, are just okay, run-of-the-mill hands. This is even more wild. So Mimicry again in my hand, but this time I did have Simorgh, so yeah, that plus Simorgh is already combo, but then you can see on top of that, I already had Parallel Exceed Dragon. So, your opponent just wouldn't be able to interrupt you in a spot that would really be that crazy. Weistrix is always a good one. It doesn't really stop you too badly. You just don't get whatever the Soul Shave Force target is, and that kind of sucks, but you do get access to Dark Requiem, which is going to be, your main go-to anyways. Having, 3 quick effect monster negates is good by itself. And yeah, I had all these bodies, and so that's kind of where it goes back to, if you want to take out Satellite and bring in another rank 4, obviously I could have gone into Stringolanius, bring another body back, and all that. But, I don't know, I think that's enough, right? 7 interruptions probably is going to be enough to win. Here's kind of the same situation, but I also opened up Quick Launch. I showed this last, because it's almost like I cherry-picked this hand. I didn't, but, when I saw it, I was I kind of have to show this combo. What if you have infinite possibilities, essentially? You're going to go through almost every card in your deck, and they're just going to be extenders. So I bring out Mimicry. I already had Parallel Exceed. I have Quick Launch. I don't even know when to use it. Because I could have gone into it earlier, but I don't know. You don't want to Dark Lock yourself. So I'm thinking I probably want to use the effect of Quick Launch, don't I? To, bring a body out. But I'm looking at this do I need to? Is that even a thing? So this time I get to go into, yes, even Borreload Savage Dragon, Infinity, with, Dark XYZ, which turns into Requiem, and then I also, still not done, I get to go into Time Thief Raidraptor and search out, the rank up spell. So, no Dark Ruler for you, 2 Omni Negates, a non-targeting shuffle back to the top of the deck. I had an Imperm in my hand. This is a pop, which turns into 3 Monster Negates. So, obviously a very high ceiling deck, to say the least. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.